Zengel was an early driver whose specialty was hill climb racing. He also competed in 5 IndyCar races. Zengel finished 11th at Philadelphia in 1909, 7th at the 1911 Indianapolis 500 as a relief driver for Charlie Mears, won the 1911 Elgin Trophy, finished 3rd at Philadelphia in 1911, and finished 6th at Indianapolis in 1912. He later operated a Chrysler and Plymouth dealership. Here he sits in his car at an unknown location on an unknown date. After serving in the United States Army in World War I, Ford became a seller for both Packard Motors and the Haynes Automobile Company. He also started 3 IndyCar races between 1917 and 1921, finishing 7th at Chicago in 1917, 6th at Elgin in 1920, and 3rd at Indianapolis in 1921. Although Jules Ellingbeau drove 95 laps in the car, here he sits in his car at Elgin in 1920. Fowler initially competed in the AAA National Championship from 1935 to 1937, starting 4 races and finishing 5th at Altoona in 1935. He then competed again in 1947 and 1948, and finished 8th at Milwaukee and DuQuoin in the latter year. Here he is after qualifying for the 1947 500, where he finished 15th. Fairman was a British driver who primarily competed in Europe. This included starting 12 Formula One races from 1953 to 1961 and getting a best finish of 4th at the 1956 British Grand Prix. His IndyCar career consisted of starting 5 of the heat races at the Race of Two Worlds at Monza in 1957 and 1958, where he got a best finish of 4th in the 3rd heat of 1957. Fairman also failed to qualify for the 1962 Indianapolis 500. Here he is at Monza in 1958, where he finished 11th and 10th in the 2 heats he started. Burke has the distinction of being the only driver to win in their only NASCAR Cup Series start. He did so at Oakland in 1951, where he started 4th and led 156 of 250 laps. Burke's only IndyCar appearance was at the 1950 Indianapolis 500, where he failed to complete his rookie test. Here he is after winning at Oakland. Mathouser started 30 races out of 59 attempts from 1961 to 1966. He would get a best finish of 6th at Langhorne in 1964. Here he is after qualifying at Indianapolis that year, where he finished 22nd. Herman raced IndyCars from 1953 to 1960. In all, he started 11 races out of 22 attempts. He would also get 2 top 10 finishes in 1955, a 7th at Indianapolis and an 8th at Langhorne. Herman would also win the Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year award that year. Unfortunately, he would be killed in a midget crash at West Haven Speedway in 1960. Here he is after qualifying for the 1955 500. After finishing 3rd in the 1980 USAC Mini Indy Series standings with a win at Pocono, Garza began to race in kart that year. He ultimately started 90 races through 1987 and got a best finish of 2nd at Michigan in 1986. Garza also won the Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year award in 1981 after starting 6th and leading 13 laps, before crashing and finishing 23rd. Here he is after qualifying that year.